Welcome to Anything New. My name is Pete, and as always, I'm here with Matt.
What's up?
And Opey.
Good afternoon.
Anything New is the podcast where we talk about anything new we've been using, perusing, or consuming. This is episode 14. We've got a bunch more pickups to talk about, a Transformers series on Netflix. But first, I think we want to talk about The Mandalorian, episode 2.
Mandalorian.
Opey, what'd you think?
I thought it was another side quest to the main quest.
Sort of, yeah.
How do you guys feel about that? That was my entire thought process through the entire one. Is what James said last week. Is pretty much there's a main quest in this season, and these are side quests, and he's wandered off to the side quests, and the NPCs go wandering off. You've got to escort the NPC back.
Oh my gosh!
You got to escort the NPC back to the to where it's from, and it gets you in a whole lot of trouble.
I didn't think about that. It was an escort quest.
It was an escort quest.
Anybody who's played like some of these RPG games, they know like you'll come up on a quest giver where they'll, instead of like going and actually doing something, they're like, "Hey, will you take this to this town or take me to this place?" And you just have to like put up with them following you around for the whole quest. And that's exactly what this one was. But
Yep.
I thought that the little character that they introduced was super cool. I mean, I'm excited to kind of see where they go with this, you know, and because when she meets her husband, I'm sure there's got to be something crazy that happens.
I hope so.
Well, are they even going to show? Are they even going to show that?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering too.
Is it? I mean, on Twitter, somebody, I can't remember who it was, but and I think they were kind of just joking, but I thought, oh, that would be pretty cool if it was real. Baby Yoda kept eating the eggs. I saw something that, like I said, I think they were joking, but they said, watch it turn out that something happens to the other eggs still in the canister, and then Baby Yoda somehow regurgitates them, and he was doing it as a way to save them and not eat them.
Ooh. Yeah, kind of like, yeah.
Well, after him eating the spider embryo,
Dude, Baby Yoda will just eat anything. He don't care.
Anything.
He's just like, he sticks his hand in there, or she. I don't know if it's a boy or girl.
But
sticks his hand in there and starts eating away.
So what was the Rebel Patrol? Was that just a patrol that we're checking? That like there was no rhyme or reason for the X-Wings to show up. So the Mando's flying into deep space, just doing his escort mission. He dozes off. Got it on autopilot, and all of a sudden 2 X-Wings show up out of nowhere, just, I guess, patrolling the area, and just checking. Maybe that was a rebel-controlled space. I really don't know, you know.
Well, it was kind of a dick move to begin with. Like, they're, like, overreaching their rebel authority, in my opinion. Like,
right.
You know, they're just cruising through there, and I don't know. I just thought.
Well, they said they were just making sure that all the ships that went through there weren't Empire, like leftover Empire.
Yeah.
And then Mando was a little sus, wouldn't send him anything back,
That's true.
So they had to.
He was a little sus. I keep forgetting.
They end up. They save the day, but then don't really even help them get off the ice planet. You know, they're like, pew, 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 pew. Hey, we killed all the spiders. Hey, can you help me repair my hull? No, we're out of here.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, we saved you from the giant spiders, but if you can't get your ship fixed, then you may end up dying anyway because you're stuck on this ice planet. Hoth 2.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. The whole time, is it weird that I was thinking the whole time, am I going to get a Mandalorian ice with the snow? And a Mandalorian snow figure of the Mandalorian with like on the snow planet, but so
is there gonna be if he's hanging upside down with the wampa?
Yeah, I thought it was going to be something like a wampa egg or heck, I guess wampas were mammals, they wouldn't have eggs, but it'd be something crazy like that. But it being snow spiders.
So I did see that those snow spiders were confirmed to be a new race that I guess we haven't seen. I mean, I guess you could just assume that anyway. And those things creeped me out because I hate spiders anyway, which is ironic since my favorite superhero is Spider-Man. But I hate spiders, and just seeing all of them and the way they looked with their weird little suction cup mouths and
yeah.
Yep.
I got a total like alien vibe when like the little eggs
Sure.
like,
I thought it was going to
opened
hit.
up like that.
Yeah.
I was like, man, what if they did some sort of crossover and that was like, from Alien, like the little
Prometheus type of vibe on it.
yeah,
Like
that would have been totally crazy.
I was totally waiting
But,
on
yeah.
something to grab Baby Yoda in the face.
Yeah.
When
I
he
got
opened it.
a Leroy Jenkins vibe when he
Yes!
runs in. I can't remember which instance.
I
it
guess
was.
you could consider that. I thought the same thing.
Yeah,
That
I was
was,
like, no, don't step on one egg because then you'll wake all of them.
Baby Yoda, Leroy Jenkins, the whole episode.
Yeah.
What was that, like BRD? Was that Black Rock Depths? Where was that?
That was
Leroy
BRD.
Jenkins.
No, it was
those.
lower BRS, lower Black Rock Spire.
Spires.
There's upper and lower. Yeah, that was the lower one.
It was down in there somewhere.
Anyway, that's some World of Warcraft for you guys, but we'll work that in. But anyway, wasn't your hopefully it was a tie-in episode. I think the episode was too. I mean, you're going to have big monsters. Mando fights big monsters, gets out of a jam type of thing, hopefully. But it wasn't, there wasn't, I'm with Pete. I think there's going to be a bigger tie-in. I mean, when you introduce what you did introduce in the first episode, I mean, all that stuff's got to come back around full circle, doesn't it? I mean,
I don't think so. I think that's the last we see of Frog Lady and her eggs.
Okay.
That's it.
Well, we'll see. You think it's...
Now, it's interesting. I'm looking on IMDb right now because I thought I didn't recognize the two X-wing pilots, and I thought maybe I was supposed to, like I'm supposed to know who they are, and I didn't recognize them. But not to say they haven't been in a bunch of stuff, but I just don't know them. I think one of them did a bunch of voices in some of the animated series, which I have, or the Clone Wars and Rebels, and I haven't watched them. Resistance. Oh, he's a writer. He's a writer on them. Anyway, me personally did not recognize them. Not saying that they aren't, but while I'm looking at that, I saw the IMDb score, which I think is completely trivial, but episode 1 had a 9.1, episode 2 has a 7.9.
Ooh, I could see that.
Yeah.
I could see that.
I didn't love this one as much as the last one either.
Yeah, the first one was really good. A lot of action.
I don't know why they had to sometimes in The Mandalorian I feel like they're using their technology resources too much with the aliens. I mean, like the wasp that she was playing cards with now was that Mos Eisley? Was that the cantina? Was he in Mos Eisley?
It looked like it.
Looked just like it.
It looked like the cantina.
Was it? Was
sure
that?
Did. Because they didn't
Was that
even.
Mos Eisley?
I don't know.
It looked like the bartender, but I might be wrong. I don't know.
There was no notification that was Mos Eisley, and there was no notification that was the cantina, and I'm sure it's got a name that someone will.
Tatooine has more than one cantina.
I'm sure.
I wonder why all the towns are called Mos.
That is a good question. If you play
What's going on with that?
right, if you play any of the RPGs like the Star Wars RPGs, there's a lot of Mos on Tatooine and
Most Def.
Most
No,
Def.
you beat me. I was going to say that's where the rapper Mos Def comes from.
Yeah.
Sorry, my
John,
bad,
you.
Matt.
But yeah, so I'm not. Hopefully, this was a tie-in episode, and hopefully, there's bigger things to come out of what this episode set up. If it doesn't, But back to my point, I think they kind of went. They could overdo it with some of the aliens, like a frog person that you couldn't understand and had to do I think that was a little much. Why can't you have someone that's speaks English or can relate better to, the viewers? But that's just me.
Yeah. My favorite part of the episode was when the little Jawa dude got the jetpack.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And Mando shoots him up like super high in the air.
I was 100% for sure that was going to be Boba Fett's band of Tatooine dudes, and that was going to be the standoff right there, where he comes face to face with Boba Fett from the first one. But it wasn't. It was just a ragtag. Well, they knew who the child was, though. You notice that?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
maybe they
I
did
didn't
have
really
some kind of
think
tie
about
to
that.
him.
okay.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I'm not real sure. I didn't really think about that. I'm not sure if they knew just that he was somebody that they could possibly, hold ransom.
Well, that's
I'm
true.
not sure.
I'll have to go back and watch it. I got interrupted 2 or 3 times trying to watch it, and I tried to watch it where I had some surround sound because you were telling me how great the surround sound was instead of kind of watching it on on the computer or whatever. But yeah, I'm gonna go back and watch it.
Yeah,
but I
for
like
sure.
it.
I mean, I'm sure we'll hit back on it. It's a good one. All right, I wanted to switch gears real quick. There was a show a mini series on HBO that Diana and I kind of stumbled on, and it's amazing. So it's on HBO. We have the HBO Max app.
Yep.
So it's so I guess they got rid of HBO Now and HBO Go, and now it's HBO Max. You know how like these companies, they love to like rebrand every 6 months and like change all their stuff.
It's more than a rebrand. I mean, HBO Max is all the HBO library plus all the Warner stuff now. So all of the the original shows that were like on the DC Universe app is now all going to be on HBO Max. So it's not just it's HBO and Warner, because Warner owns HBO. So they finally consolidated all of their assets. They had HBO Go and Now and whatever. They finally consolidated it all down into the one thing.
Yeah. Well, so we have HBO Max. We found this series that it just come out. It's called The Undoing, and it's a psychological thriller. 6-part.
Because on my end it cut out real quick. So you said it's called The Undoing.
Undoing.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm. It's a 6-part miniseries. We hadn't either. We kind of just stumbled. We saw it pop up, like the little banner for it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay. Nicole Kidman.
Yep. Hugh Grant. Yeah, I'm looking at it now.
Hugh Grant. I'm like, okay, let's check this out. So psychological thriller, based on a 2014 novel. You Should Have Known. I don't know. I'm not. Whatever. So we started watching it, and the first episode, we were both blown away. We're like,
okay,
what? It was great. Second episode, so it's released weekly on Sunday night. So
yeah, it's dropped already. The new episode's
We're probably going to watch episode 3 tomorrow. It's like, first episode happens, you're just at the end of the episode, you're like, what in the world? Oh my goodness. Second episode, same kind of thing. Like into episode 2, you're like, oh what? Oh my gosh.
So
it's really good, and it's kind of it's just like a psychological thriller. I mean, I don't want to give anything away because.
What's it about?
Well, here we go. Let me read it for you real quick. About the show. Grace, Nicole Kidman, and Jonathan Fraser, Hugh Grant, are living the only lives they ever wanted. Overnight, a chasm opens in their lives. A violent death, a chain of terrible revelations left behind the wake of spreading a very public disaster. Grace must dismantle one life and create another for her child and her family. Well, guys, so whatever.
I'm telling you what. Nicole Kidman's she's a great actor, right?
Mm-hmm. She's fantastic.
Hugh Grant is really good too.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's just, I don't want to give too much away because that's kind of the best part about it, was just that we both, it's like one of those shows where we look over at each other like at the same time a few times during the show, and we're just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that just happened. So I would recommend it. I think it's one of the best shows I've watched this year. I just hope it, and I kind of get my hopes up on a lot of series sometimes, and the first couple episodes will be great, and then it'll kind of peter out. So far so good. 2 episodes in, Undoing, HBO. I think it's going to be a good one, but I don't know. I'll kind of hit back on it and let you guys know next week what I think of episode 3. See if it's just as good.
I think I have seen brief little snippets of, because I remember seeing that Hugh Jackman and Nicole Kidman were in something new together. I didn't know what it was called or what it was about, so it's kind of cool to see. HBO's got a lot of good original stuff, and I wish I subscribed to it. I probably will once the new DC shows hit, like the new season of Titans or Doom Patrol or whatever. Like once that
Or
stuff
maybe
hits, I'll probably subscribe to HBO
Game
Max,
of Thrones
so that-
prequel, the Targaryen series, maybe when if that ever
Sure.
comes out.
No, yeah. So I don't think Matt's too high on the spin-offs for Game of Thrones.
Uh-oh.
No, I mean, I don't know enough. I mean, I'd watch them, sure. I mean, I've watched all of Game of Thrones twice, so
Yep.
why not?
You were kind of down on the final season of Game of Thrones. I think that kind of tarnished its
Game of
legacy
Thrones
for
season
you.
8, yeah, probably the worst thing that's ever put on any kind of
Oh,
visual
come
medium
on.
ever. But, yeah.
I
No, it
watched
was
it with him.
not.
I watched it with him.
Opie, what'd you think?
It, you know, it kind of left you hanging a little bit. I mean, it was just so much they had riding on that last season. There's just, I don't think there was
Yeah.
any way they could fulfill anyone's expectations. And then honestly, I probably need to go back and watch it again just to take it all in. But, you know, the battle scenes, it's just, I don't know. It seems like it. I didn't hate it, but I know where they're coming from
Yeah.
by not being
know
able
what
to
you mean.
just.
That was the only season I didn't watch twice. So I've seen seasons 1 through 7 twice, and
Yeah.
8 I will never watch again. Just 'cause,
Okay. Yeah.
But they
We're
do have a
talking
lot of good
Game of
original
Thrones.
programming, you know, and I would love to watch. There's a whole bunch of stuff on HBO that I never got around to watching that I'd love to. So, that's the great thing about all the, you know, people complain about all these different streaming services, and by the time you subscribe to all of them, you're paying more than you are for cable. We'll just subscribe to what you want to subscribe to for as long as you need it, and then get rid of it. So, you know, eventually I'm gonna subscribe to HBO Max for a few months and get my fill of it and watch all this stuff that I want to watch. I think
Yep.
that's it.
Yep.
There's a ton of anime on HBO Max.
Is there really?
Oh, really?
I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
there's a whole network.
Oh, it's
that
probably
they
from
have.
the Warner side. Probably not HBO.
Right. I mean, it's not. Yeah, stuff. It's just like, you know, they kind of have it broken down where you can go in and.
Well,
look at
the studio-
let me
We're-
pull it up.
So,
Make sure I'm not.
I
telling you
have
the wrong thing here.
I have Spectrum as a cable provider, and we get HBO with our package. I don't get Max. I just have HBO now. So is that am I missing? Like I'm seeing all the shows. I mean, right here's The Undoing. You know, I get all that stuff, but I don't know where the anime is.
I don't know if you get the extra non-HBO stuff.
Okay.
With that.
Okay.
Like all the Warner Brothers stuff.
Sure. Yeah.
I haven't looked into it that much. I kind of thought they consolidated everything and it was all kind of just one thing now. But
What's
I
the
might be wrong.
Studio Ghibli?
yeah,
Are you guys familiar with Studio Ghibli
yeah,
for
yeah.
anime?
yeah,
Okay.
some of the best anime out there. Like Castle in the Sky and Spirited Away and
Oh, gotcha.
friggin' my neighbor Totoro and Kiki's Delivery Service, all that stuff.
Okay. So yeah, apparently that's what's on there, because there's just like a little icon where you can click, and then a whole other library of shows come up on HBO Max. But
That's
Okay.
I don't know.
The Undoing.
Maybe
Well,
something.
yeah. Now I want to subscribe and watch, because I kind of need to find a show to watch. I'm kind of in between shows right now, and you know I'd love to find something new to sink my teeth into.
Well,
Yeah, hopefully it continues being good. I worry, you know, sometimes like I said, shows can start off great, and then kind of hit a lull, and then kind
Lull.
of end.
Game of Thrones. Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, well, let's switch gears.
Yep.
Transformers: War of Cybertron.
Speaking of shows,
War for
watch.
Cybertron. So a couple of episodes back, I don't know how Matt and I got on the conversation of Transformers. I don't even know if it was on air or if we were talking off air. But we were kind of exploring the different Transformer series on. Were we talking about toys or something? I think we might have talked about
I don't
toys.
remember we were talking about the different series in Japan and
Yes. And so when I started going down my Netflix to see what all, because there were several series of Transformers animated series on Netflix, and I wanted this new one which came out this year. Is actually called War for Cybertron, and it's this trilogy. So there's 3 parts to this series. And the first part of the series is called Siege, and that's what's on right now. And it's 6 episodes. And basically it's, of course, computer animated anime style. But I started watching it and just couldn't quit watching it and had it going until I finished it all. And one thing that did spark it was kind of the toys. I'd been seeing the toys in Walmart, and I kind of really liked the way they looked because they weren't the movie style. They were the animated style figures. And they were kind of a higher price point, like around the $17 to $20 range. But they looked really good, and I couldn't figure out what was so special about these toys. So I wanted to kind of start watching the series, and that was another way to watch the series, to see if there was anything different about what was going on. But pretty much this first one is cut and dry, your original Transformer type of plot, type of story. You've got there's a couple of twists as you start off. Of course, all the Transformers are on Cybertron. That's where the first series is set. You've got your main players. You've got Optimus Prime. You've got Megatron. You've got Soundwave. You've got Jetfire. You got Starscream. You got Sideswipe, and you got Bumblebee. You've got even Ultra Magnus shows up in it at one point in time. But anyway, and if you followed the Transformers of the 80s, the ones we grew up watching the cartoon, you kind of know that Cybertron is the planet that they're from, and that planet is dying. And so the Autobots are trying to escape, or trying to save the planet. I can't remember. I think the movie don't they go back to Cybertron and fight a big battle? Remember the movie that came out in the 80s?
Oh yeah.
So it all starts.
Shia LaBeouf.
No, the animated movie from
the animated movie.
That's a joke.
But so it kind of has. I don't want to spoil it all for you if you guys want to watch it, but it kind of has a whole feel like all the Transformers before they were factions, Autobots and Decepticons. They were all one group. They were all living. They were all united, I guess, before they kind of cut off in factions. And it even goes back, and you'll hear some of the dialogue, like Megatron and Optimus Prime and Ultra Magnus. They all were together, like in one army, like they fought side by side at one point in time. And then Megatron had different thoughts on how he wanted Cybertron to be, how they wanted all the, I guess you would call it, the robots there to live. And then, of course, Optimus Prime and later Ultra Magnus, they had their different thoughts. And I guess Megatron kind of betrayed some of them and went on his own route, creating the Decepticons, and then Optimus Prime creating the Autobots. But it's really good. The dialogue's really good. Some kind of little twist I was telling you about. Bumblebee starts off in the very beginning. He's not an Autobot. He's not any faction at all. He's kind of just like a scavenger. And Jetfire is a Decepticon in the beginning.
What?
Spoiler. Okay.
Are all 6 episodes released?
Yes, the whole seaon is on there.
I think the series has been out for like a year.
Yeah,
Okay.
it says this towards the end of the year. I think it was on this year. But anyway, so it's really good. Red Alert, I think, is the medic. Remember, he was the medic van or whatever. He doesn't really have a faction right now either, and he helped.
Ratchet.
Ratchet.
He was the ambulance.
The ambulance. Ratchet. Yeah, not Red Alert. You're right. Ratchet. Sorry. He's not a faction either at this time. He helps both Decepticons and Autobots when they're hurt. And that kind of goes with some dialogues. But let me tell you one thing about this that's different. It's pretty I don't want to say adult being adult, but it's not cartoony. Like, they shoot to kill. Like, they die in the episodes. Like, some of they shoot each other, they kill. I mean, they take each other out in this one. So it's not, they don't dance around the fact that this is actual war going on. But it's really good. I enjoyed it. and I'd recommend it. So I decided to watch it and watched it all, but I was pretty happy with it. I wish it was more. Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, I kind of don't love the CG, but they do a really good job on it. And now Siege, this was over. Spoiler: they leave Cybertron in the end, and the next chapter, which is the middle part of the trilogy, is called Earthrise. So they're coming to Earth. So yeah. So
okay. Well, thanks for ruining it. I guess I don't have to watch it now.
Yeah. So it's following the same. It's following the same main story arc as the original '80s cartoon. Okay. Gotcha. And there's a couple of new characters. Like there's some female Autobots that take a pretty good role in it. But all your classic ones are there. Ironhide's there. Hound is there. Sideswipe is a big part of it too. But yeah, so it's really good. I really enjoyed it.
I wonder if because there was the two games, the two Transformers games around the Xbox 360, PS3 era, the War for Cybertron and Fall of Cybertron.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if, and this has the same title, I wonder if they relate at all, because those games took place on Cybertron.
Right.
And it was, you could transform whenever you wanted to, but it wasn't a truck or a bug. It was more alien type vehicles. Right.
And this is Optimus Prime transform. There's a lot of transforming. There's not as much transforming as I thought they would be. They're more in the robot form, but when they do transform, especially like the Seekers, like the Starscream and his group, they look more like futuristic planes instead of an F-14. But same with Prime, he transforms, and you can obviously see he's a semi truck, but he's a futuristic semi truck. He's not like
it's all alien looking.
Not super alien.
If you gotta go back to Cybertron and then you turn into like a semi truck, people on Cybertron are gonna be like, "What the hell are you, bro?"
Yeah, no.
Well, they don't know what a
semi truck is.
This takes place before they went to Earth in the first
right.
place.
So they shouldn't even know what a semi truck is, but it looks like. But anyway, the 6 episodes, they're 25 minutes.
VW bug,
guys. They're 25-minute episodes, so they go by really quick. You can knock it out.
Yeah.
You can knock it out pretty quick. So
tonight,
I was also gonna say the Autobots kind of if you come to Earth and then you're going to choose something to transform into, and you're going to be going up against jet fighters and stuff like that, like why would you choose like a VW Bug and like a semi truck? Why wouldn't you choose something a little bit more military?
Because that's what they did in the '80s, and we just didn't question it. Okay, don't ruin my childhood for me.
Well, if you with Shia LaBeouf,
sell toys.
Well, the movies, he was a Camaro, and they did a lot of that, but. There was some militaries, like Hound is a Jeep. He was a Jeep type.
I mean, Megatron turned into a gun, right?
Yes. But Soundwave turned into a beatbox.
Right.
Ghetto Blaster.
But so did Blaster. So
Blaster, yeah.
Yeah.
Man, that was one of my favorite toys. Was the little cassette.
Yes.
I had the little one turned into like the little hound, little dog.
Yeah,
Ravage.
What was that one?
Ravage.
Yeah.
Ravage.
I loved that toy.
It used to scare the crap out of me because when you would watch the cartoons and Ravage, it was always like no one could just get away from Ravage. Like he was always going to find the Autobots. Anytime he sent Ravage out and the bird, and
Laserbeak,
then Laserbeak.
Dang, Matt knows all the.
And the guys with the pounding who would pound the ground.
Yeah,
that he was one of those. Yeah.
I don't remember those.
But,
I was at Walmart last night.
And you saw Blaster.
I saw Blaster. Yeah.
The G1 Blaster. Yeah. If he wasn't $50, it'd be great to have.
Oh, is he $50?
$50.
Yeah. All those re-released G1s, it was so ridiculous. Like, not only did they put like 3 on the shelf, like Optimus Prime with no trailer was like $80 or something like that. It was G1, the straight up G1 Optimus Prime like we had in the 80s, but no trailer, and he was like $80. It was stupid. Hated it.
Jeez.
Yeah, jeez.
Cool. Transformers War for Cybertron.
Netflix. Original.
To check out. All right, it's time for the pickups part of the episode. This is the part of the episode where we like to talk about things that we've maybe bought or kind of just picked up. You know,
Right.
sometimes we'll pick them up
I'll-
at a Goodwill or at a yard sale or at a retail store, Amazon, wherever.
I'll go
So,
first.
Matt, you want?
No, let
Okay,
me go
okay,
first.
Go ahead.
It ties in.
You go ahead.
It ties in.
Okay.
So yeah, so I went ahead, and for everybody viewing, I went ahead and picked up one of the toys that I was telling you guys about, and the reason is this is Hound. This is the Jeep Transformer, and it's from the Siege series. So
Okay.
if you go down the toy aisle and you look at the section that has these Transformers in them, and I've looked at them several times, you'll see you'll see 3 or 4 different styles. Now, you'll see a packaging that just says War for Cybertron, and it's a white fat packaging, and it actually says Netflix on it. And then you'll see this, which actually says Siege on it. And then you'll see the new ones that are out that are the Earthrise that are out. So I was at my Walmart, and I was kind of comparing them, kind of seeing like, I was seeing some were on rollback and then some weren't, and I was kind of comparing them and trying to see what is the difference between each one of them. And they basically look at this style. There's like a deluxe figure, like there's a Megatron and there's a Starscream that is like a deluxe figure, like they come in the bigger packaging and they're a higher price point. I think they're like a $29 price point. This is a $17 price point one, but I got super lucky because apparently, and I don't know how I picked this out, there was a Earthrise Hound and there was a Siege Hound, and I picked up the Siege Hound because he's got some battle damage and stuff on him, and the Earthrise one didn't. It was just a clean Hound, so you haven't seen Earthrise yet because it's not about released, so I'm assuming they get to Earth and they're all cleaned up and repaired or whatever. But this one's kind of battle damaged, so I kind of like the look of him a little better. This one was on clearance for $5, so
What?
I didn't even have to pay the $17 because I guess the Siege is phasing out to make room for the
For the new
Earthrise.
one,
Yeah. So I'm going to open this up and see what all the fuss is about, why this is a $17 figure, because it doesn't look as complex, but it does transform. Okay?
Yeah.
So I'm going to let you guys know how that works because I am going to take this out of the package. But
Dude, I like his vehicle.
yeah, in the 80s he was a Jeep with a big
Right.
gun, a Gatling gun
Yeah.
on the top. He was your standard Jeep Wrangler Army Jeep. But this one he's kind of a Humvee Jeep looking thing. So anyway, so it's really cool. It's if you're in Walmart, and I kind of checked both my Walmarts. I've got one here and one where I work to see if there was any more Siege ones to see if I could get lucky. When I was checking out, I didn't even know it wasn't even marked $5. I just saw it when I was checking out. I was expecting to pay $17 for it, and I went out to my car and went back in and went back in to see if I could find if there was any more, and was going to scan them with the app. But the Earthrise is same packaging, same figure, a little different paint job. $17, but it says Earthrise where this says Siege, but the Earthrise series isn't out yet. So, but I'd seen these on end caps, and I'd been seeing, like, I kind of at a glance like the way they look because they look so Gen 1, but I was afraid
like
like
the
they,
Optimus Prime from that line.
Yeah.
Last night.
yeah. So I picked that up, and I'll let you guys know how it goes. I'm excited to open it and see what it looks like. I hope maybe I'll make a video on it. I've been saying that.
You should.
I do. Yeah. So cool. That was my only pickup. So that's what I got. I was happy to get that for $5.
Sweet.
All right, Matt, you want?
Yeah, I'll go too because my pickups aren't anything like they were last week. Speaking of going to Walmart and seeing what I could find in old toys, and Opie talked me into getting a couple of these. I got a couple of these little dudes. The little, what are they called, Opie?
The minis, the Master of the Universe minis. So
Master of the Universe minis. There's what 6 or 7 of them.
Yep.
I like
And
that.
yeah, they're blind boxes. They come in these plastic Snake Mountain. I guess this is wave 2. You don't know which one you're getting. At least you're not supposed to know. But I guess Opie sent me. You can tell which one's which because there's like a code on the bottom that, like a letter that you can tell who's who. He sent me the list of them. So I got for $5 each. I decided to get me a He-Man and a Faker, and then I picked up 4 of them for Opie that he was looking for. I didn't open those, but yeah. So I got me a couple of these guys. And then, Opie, did you have a couple? You have a couple of the Wave 1.
Yeah, I got just the one Wave 1. This is
the
Ram Man
yeah.
on the Wave 1, and it's Gray Skull.
Yeah, see, I wish I had some of those. I like the Gray Skull better than
the Gray Skull was your traditional. The Wave 1 was your traditional He-Man, Skeletor, Man-at-Arms, Ram Man, and then it had like the He-Man that apparently got in the Hordak, the slime pit or whatever, and they call him Zombie He-Man. He's green.
Yeah, I saw a picture. He looks cool.
But the Wave 2, the reason that I wanted it, because Faker's one of my favorite ones, and I wanted a Faker, and he picked up a Faker for me. Did you tell him that the codes are on the bottom? And
A, B, C, D, E, F, E, F, G, H, I think was H, is a Skeletor. I think it's the last one.
So
I don't think I can get it on this, but yeah, there's a, you can't really see, there's a code there, and if you, the last letter tells you which ones
right.
they are.
And Pixel Dan is a YouTuber that he really specializes in Masters of the Universe toys, and he went over the second wave of the minis, and basically there are a lot of comic inspired ones, like the Trap Jaw that you got. He's yellow or a light green, I guess, and that's
light green.
That's first appearance. They call him first appearance Trap Jaw because in the mini comic that's what he looked like. He didn't look like the figure or the cartoon. And then I guess they call that Skeletor that's got the gold armor, they call him Disco Skeletor for some reason.
Yeah.
And that was put out, and then the Man-at-Arms is some different paint job. But I wanted those different paint jobs instead of the original ones. But yeah, the first wave was just your standard Trap Jaw paint job, Man-at-Arms paint job. You know, Buzz Off was in that first lineup. Jitsu was in that first line. And of course He-Man and Skeletor and Ram Man. So yeah, I'm hopefully since your Walmart had them,
It wasn't mine. It was where
Crossville.
my parents live. So yeah,
Crossville,
I don't know that I'll be going back there anytime soon. But yeah,
there's
maybe I can get my sister to go or something.
There's supposed to be some vehicles come out too. There's supposed to be a Roton for the minis.
Cool. For these little dudes?
Yeah, for the minis, and there's supposed to be. This is rumored. There's some. What's the vehicle that looks like a lizard that He-Man rides? It's like got a wheel on it. What's it called?
I can't remember. I love that He-Man skipped leg day.
Yeah, he's got little legs. He totally
little short stubby leg. That's cool.
Awesome. I really appreciate that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
You guys got anything else?
Yeah, I got a couple of things. So last year, my sister bought something for my son and I. It was a Funko Pop Advent Calendar, Marvel.
Oh, nice.
And it had every day from the 1st to the 24th, or maybe 25th of December. We would open, Advent Calendar. We'd open a door, and there'd be a little about almost a pop about this size. These little dudes. A Marvel pop every single day, little tiny ones. And this year she bought us another one, but this time it's
Dragon Ball Z
Funko Pop Advent Calendar. So every day starting on December 1st, the boy and I will be able to open one, and we'll get a Dragon Ball Z Funko Pop.
Those aren't cheap either. Those aren't cheap.
They're actually not as bad as I thought they would be. They
really?
have a Gremlins one too, which my son probably would have liked better because he loves Gremlins, but I think he'll like this one too.
That's a good idea.
That's really good.
Yeah, like I don't know if you can see, like if you can sort of get an idea for how small they are. They're definitely not regular size Funko Pops because that would make them real expensive. They really are like finger size, like you can hold them. Like
okay.
But they're really cool. I've got all 20 whatever of my Marvel ones upstairs on my shelf. And then my last pickup, I got another Omnibus. I got the Infinity Gauntlet Omnibus reprints. So Infinity Gauntlet 1990, it was a 6-issue miniseries. Obviously if you've seen Infinity War and Endgame, a lot of what comes out of that movie was in here. 6 issues. I have them in single issues from when they came out. I have the 6 issues in trade paperback. This, however, reprints the 6 issues plus all the tie-ins that I don't have or haven't read. So I've never had every single comic that's related to the Infinity Gauntlet crossover before. So, and it's, there's the spine there. So this has all of them. I haven't even cracked it open yet for some reason. I don't know why I haven't opened this out of the plastic yet. But
so does the movie story kind of go along with that? Like, does Thor cut off Thanos' head? Like,
well, no, but so at the end of Infinity War, when Thanos snaps and half of the population of everything goes out, that happens in issue 1 of this.
Oh, geez.
And that's kind of what I was so mad. I was so irritated with the end of that when that movie ended and everybody was thinking, oh, I can't believe they killed so many of the, all these heroes, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, that happens in the first issue. I mean, that's, and then the rest of the series is about how they fix it. Now, the way they fix it is quite a bit different. But yeah, so, I mean, this is super cool to have the entire Infinity Gauntlet. All the, like I said, I've got the trade, the 6-issue trade, the original 6 issues, but I've never had all of the tie-ins too. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And.
Oh wow.
That's all I got. Oh, Opie. Speaking of these and your pickup, Opie, you actually did get about 300 other pickups.
Oh yeah.
This week. But
yeah.
If you want to go through each one of those,
if you want to talk about pickups, I'm just going to show you just a handful. We got us some comics.
Yeah, so Opie has a peddler's mall like 5 minutes away from where he works, and there's a guy there that sells, he has like a dozen long boxes full of comic books, $1 each, most of them. So Opie, I tweeted about this, Opie's the best dude in the world because the other day Opie called me up and we were on the phone for 2 hours and he went through all these boxes, looking through them all.
Yep.
Telling me what was in there, and I would tell him, pull that, don't, leave that one, pass that one, and the guy that was selling them made him a deal. You can fill up a long box, which holds, bagged and boarded, holds about 250 comics. He said you can fill one up for $125. So me and Opie went through them all, and we filled up a long box full of 250 plus comics. So
it was awesome. I had fun.
How long did that take?
Woo!
Two hours. It took. We were on the phone for 2 hours, but we had been through some of the other boxes a few days before.
I spent my lunch break every day there going through different boxes. The guy had like little booth. It's one of my pickup places where I look for games and junk and VHSs and things like that. And these peddler malls, if no one really knows, it's just one big store with unmanned booths. Like nobody's there taking your money or watching you and seeing what you pick. You just take what you get up to the front, and the price tag has the booth number on it, and the lady up front charges it to that booth, and that's how they sell stuff there. And you can't really haggle with anybody or whatever. But this guy, like did I buy some for you out of the first time a go around?
Yeah, you've bought me like 3 different times, like
right.
A small stack and then the long box and then another stack the next
day.
Day.
And I'd seen on there the guy had posted on Facebook Marketplace for that area. He had put that little booth on the Facebook Marketplace, and of course I look for games or comics or toys or whatever on there, and I was like, is this the same guy? Because as I kept going back, that first group of long boxes he put out kind of got whittled down, and he kind of didn't have that many back out there, but I had been through them all for Matt, and then I was like, okay, this is not the same place, and I figured out it was the same place, so he'd put out like 8, was it 8? Yeah, 8 long boxes, 7 or 8 long boxes, and had some comics sticking up, and I sent it to Matt, and I was like, this is the guy that I got those first variant issues with. Oh, that's what it was. It was a few variant issues I picked up, and you're like, they weren't for you, they were for me, but you would want them if I didn't want them, that sort of thing. And so I just kind of went through some. I tried FaceTiming Matt while I was there, which would have been awesome. I had my AirPods in, and I had my phone there, and I'm sure everybody around me thought I was talking to myself, but I tried FaceTiming him so he could just look at the comics as I went through and tell me which ones to pull. But the cell phone signal wasn't great, and it kept freezing up. So I'm like, whatever. So then I started making movies. I would record myself going through these long boxes, one clip, 1 minute at a time. I would record a minute of me going through them, and then he would like go watch it, text me back the ones he wanted, and I went it back the next way and pulled them, and I was like, that just takes forever. So I decided, hey, let's just call, and I'll start telling you what I'm seeing here. And he gave me a good idea. I mean, for the lame, we were looking for 70s and 80s comics. So Matt's like, whatever the price is, like what you pay retail for the comic, the cover price, that'll give you a pretty good indication about if I want it or not. So anything like $1.50 or more, just forget about it, unless it's like a variant cover or a Spawn. He wanted Spawn. So that was easy. So I just started, calling off anything I saw Marvel, DC, like $1.25 or lower, and got some great comics. And I communicated with the guy, like messaged him on Facebook. He's really cool. He said he's going to restock, and we're going to take a look and see what he's got next, because he had a really good run of Iron Man. Matt was really stoked to get a bunch of Iron Man.
Iron Man that I can't wait to. Wait to get into.
So we were happy about that. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Please like and subscribe.
Yeah, Bumpkins TV. I'm gonna have videos about it on the YouTubes, or you can see right over here. Yep. So yeah, that's Opey actually got like 300 pickups.
Yep.
Over this past week, but
yep.
We don't need to go through one. It's just a bunch of comic books. Bunch of comic books.
Awesome. Bunch of comic books.
Yeah. But Pete, you're my best friend. Last week, was building up the suspense. I feel like you've got a little bit of air of mystery around you now. Like I really want to.
I do. I do, and I'd ordered some pickups, and they took a little bit longer to come in because. So have you guys ever bought anything on Etsy?
No.
I know what it is.
I know what Etsy is. Maybe like birthday invitations or something. I think maybe one time. I'm not real sure.
I think it's more for like people who kind of have their own little shops, and then they kind of sell stuff, So anyway, I wanted, and let me fix my little camera here. I'll turn off my little background, and then, we're going.
Oh, your game collection disappeared. Uh-oh.
So I got these little stands.
Nice.
Oh. So these are stands for my handhelds.
There's a
see if I can. And they're kind of individualized. Like this one's for the PlayStation Vita. And it's etched PS Vita on there. We're moving back. We got a DS and a PSP. And they're like these little clear acrylic stands.
Mm-hmm.
So you can, because like before I just kind of had my, my handhelds just kind of sitting on a shelf flat, Yeah. Not really nice to be displayed. But these little things they were super cheap. They were like $5 a piece, maybe $7.
Dude.
And
so I've had so Metal Jesus Rocks is a YouTube channel that we all watch and love, and a long time ago he was reviewing a handheld or something, and he had some of those stands, and for a couple years in my bookmarks bar in Chrome, because I was afraid I'd forget, I have a website bookmark called Rose Colored Gaming. And they sell all kinds of that stuff. All kinds of different stands for handhelds, for controllers, all kinds of stuff. And they brand them like that too.
Yeah, they're nice. I think it's really nice.
Yep.
Super cheap. I mean, you guys snap them little stands on there. Kind of put them together.
Well, the guy Tendo I was telling you guys about back in the day, he was 3D printing those and trying to sell them, but that wasn't very efficient apparently through trying to 3D print stands and sell them, because it just takes so long to do.
Yeah. I mean, for the money, for just $5-6, it's on Etsy. I think that maybe most of the wives or girlfriends might be more familiar with Etsy than us guys, because I think it's like more crafty stuff.
I was gonna say that's a little careful. That's a little.
Hey,
that may be a little sexist. But
don't knock the Etsy. I know Etsy from people that do custom action figures. Like there's a lot of people who are artsy like that, and they do custom action figures. And if you can get a lot of good stuff on there.
I've been trying to get my sister to start an Etsy shop, because she does all kinds of craft stuff that some of the most amazing things I've ever seen. What Pete? What is the shop name or the page on Etsy?
I'll have to look it up, and I'll give it to you, and we can put it like in the little show notes and share.
Yeah, we need to see if they got if they've got a Twitter and everything. We need to shouting
Yeah,
out.
that's a good idea. That's a good idea, actually.
Yeah, those
But
are fantastic.
so then once I got that, I kind of thought, well, I need a cooler little place to display them. So then I
Uh-oh.
ordered this shelf and kind of made like a little shelf just for my handheld stuff. So then
Cool.
let me see. So then my handhelds go on this little corner shelf, and all I did was kind of type in corner shelf into Google, and then some little marketplaces came up that had corner shelves. It's like kind of like IKEA type stuff, like you just kind of screw them together,
Yeah.
But let me see if I can get. There we go. Yeah, so they just kind of sit on there, and I got like some of my 3DS and Switch games and stuff up there, and yeah, so that's it. That's all it is.
That's it.
Flying back around, setting up our little thingy here. But yeah,
Yeah, those are cool. If you want more of that stuff,
From the fullback in, you got
check out those
Kamara.
colored
Alvin
beans.
seeks the end zone, and
Not
he's
a
in
plug.
there.
I've never bought anything from him, but they
Another
have, I've browsed
touchdown.
their website plenty of times, and they have that same kind of stuff. All kinds. Like I said, stands for different controllers. They have stands for special edition 3DSs and
Yards.
PSPs.
From the fullback in, you
they'll-
got Kamara.
like if- I think
Alvin
maybe like
seeks
if
the end
maybe one of
zone,
the Pikachu
and he's in there.
3DSs or something, they have
Another
special Pikachu
touchdown.
stands specifically for that one. They have stands for like the DS
Yards.
or the Game Boy
Fullback in, you got
Advance SP.
Kamara. Alvin seeks the end zone, and he's in there.
Kinds of stuff. So yeah, you should check that out too. And their stands are like between $6 and $10, I think.
yeah. Shoot, it might be that. I can't remember, but I'll look it up and see.
They have display
and-
stands for amiibos.
Oh wow.
They have clear display cases for both boxed and unboxed games, like retro games and stuff.
Ooh.
I'm just
It
on the
would be-
site, and they're just like a carousel of their images, and they have all this cool stuff.
I would like a stand for like loose PSP games because I have a few of those like without a box.
Yeah.
They're just like the little UMD
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be
because they're kind of you can't really display them. They're just,
Right.
they kind of you just stack them.
You stack them. Yeah, you can't.
But anyway, that's
Okay.
my
Those are-
pickup. So
I've been wanting to get some of those because I have a couple of. I have like 2 or 3 different of the. I think I've got a DSi and a DS Lite and a Game Boy Advance SP and a Vita and just a bunch of different handhelds. I'd love to display them on a stand just
Yeah.
like those on my
Yeah.
media shelf up in my living room. That would be super cool.
and they come like clear.
And you just
At
a
least the
really
shot,
nice
that
route. He's
clear
going to put his foot,
frosting
puts his hand up.
and
They
black.
sell him the go route. He puts his
You
foot
could
right in the
get-
ground and runs a little
I think
hook
the
route.
clear one's the best, I think.
Yeah,
Because with the clear
Until
ones,
they
you
get
can
all-
put them on if you have a black shelf or
Mm-hmm.
a white shelf or any shelf, they match.
Yep.
Whereas if
That's
you have a
true.
black shelf with a white stand, it kind of stands out, and vice versa.
Yeah.
It kind of sticks out. So I like the clear ones.
Yep. Cool. And you guys got anything other pickups or?
No.
I was trying to think. I don't think I picked up. I don't know. I didn't pick up anything this week. No, or other than those few things. So
I keep
this week's
I
going to
keep
be, or next
sending-
week. Next week pickups is going to be pretty cool.
Uh-oh.
We'll preview,
Uh-oh.
but
I sent Opie a few listings on some things that I thought he might be interested in this past week. There was a Game Gear, Sega Game Gear, for $60.
With
So
everything.
If
the
I ever see any
case.
of these things and you want me to go actually get them for you, just let me know. It was like a Game Gear with like the case, and,
Right.
like 2 or 3 games for
Right.
like $60.
Right.
I thought it was a pretty good deal.
I used
Right.
to love the Game Gear.
Man, the video games have dried up. The use that down here. I've not bought a game in the wild in a long time. That's why I'm kind of leaning towards the action figure stuff again. I really want to pick up these Masters of the Universe Origin. Hopefully the second wave will start hitting my stores and stuff soon, and the Mega Block stuff. I like that stuff. So,
Well, I tell you what, the me from a year or two ago would have laughed, but I have been completely bitten by the comic collecting bug again. Like, I collected them all through the 90s, a little bit in the 2000s, and then once everything went digital, I was like, I don't care about collecting. I just want to read them. I've got them all on my iPad. I got everything I want. and just starting with these omnibuses, and then seeing that I've got an awesome comic book store 5 minutes away from me, and apparently there's another one that near me that I thought closed, which is why I never tried to go back. Turns out they just moved to just across the road, and it's still super close to me. So I've got another one to go look at. I've just been bitten by the bug of I just want to collect comics again.
You don't have any retro video game shops down there?
Which is just one in the mall. But we've got that, and then we've got McKay's books, and that we've talked about before, that has a bunch. But neither of those places are priced.
They're at full blown retail.
Well, not full blown retail, but like it's really hard to find like a super good deal because they know what they have. So it's hard to find a really, really good, just a diamond in the rough kind of thing. So I go look there every now and then, but I usually don't get a whole lot because it just not that the prices are bad, but it's like, well, I could pay $20 for this 15-year-old game, but I don't really want to, So, but yeah, I've just been bitten by the comic book bug, so I got a bunch of videos planned around stuff like that.
We got big week next week. We have some consoles being released and delivered.
Oh, geez.
Hence, the next week's pickups are going to be very interesting.
I know. Yeah. I'm excited. So when the Xbox Series X comes out on the 10th, is it?
Yeah, Tuesday.
And then the PS5 is the 12th?
Is the 12th, yep.
So I have a Xbox Series X coming. Matt has a PS5 coming. So, next week we're going to be able to show those bad boys off and, kind of talk about that. That'll be exciting.
Dude, I've got Spider-Man Miles Morales coming. I'm going to be streaming that until I'm done.
Whew. Well, that's going to be what, like 3 hours?
I think they said the game is like 8 to 10 hours, or if you really sink your teeth into it and do everything, it's like 18 hours.
Wow.
But it's not supposed. It wasn't. It's a $40 game unless you get like the ultimate version or something.
Oh, that's cool.
It's not like they're not trying to put it off as a full blown, massive title. So it's priced for what it is.
It looks good. I know you'll love it. So I don't. There'll be no doubt.
It's game of the year already. I can just tell you, game of the year. I can't wait. It's gonna be awesome.
Game of the year. Yeah. He's not even played it.
Don't need to.
We're gonna have our electronic wrap up award show here soon. Maybe like once we get into December, maybe like our favorite shows, favorite video games.
Yeah, we just need to have a best of 2020, which is in 2020.
Absolutely.
It's really hard to find anything that's good and best, but we'll find something to talk about.
All right, you guys got anything else before we wrap up episode 14?
That's it.
No, I don't need to tell you guys to go vote anymore because that whole thing's done. But please do wear a mask when you go out and be kind to everybody.
Yeah, Opie, be kind to everybody.
I'll try.
Or do we want to hit on the socials? We got our Bitly, our Twitter, Instagram, Gmail, all that stuff.
Yep, we got our Discord. Like and subscribe. I'm streaming on the YouTube right now. We got your maths going on the Twitch. We got the Twitch channel going, and we got the live on the Facebooks. So yeah, let us know. Thanks for being in the chat, J-Dub. And hit us up. Let us know what you think.
Yeah, we've got a link tree set up for all the socials. So if you don't know what link tree is, it's linktr.ee linktree /anything new, and that gives you the Twitters, that gives you the Instagrams, the Gmails, the YouTubes, the Discords. I don't think Twitch is on there. It's twitch.tv/anythingnewpodcast. And Facebook, what do you do? I don't know. I don't do Facebook. Don't you just search for it? Is how you get to it, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Anything New Podcast on Facebook. You can follow our page and you'll get notifications whenever we go live. And you can watch the older episodes. They get archived on there. So and this was originally intended as an audio podcast. So if you go on Spotify, search Anything New Podcast, you'll find us there if you're into the audio stuff. I know a lot of people like to iTunes if you're got the podcast app on your iPhone. You can search Anything New Podcast on there. Download the audio version. Listen to us on your way to work or on your long commute, or if you're out back sitting under a shade tree, watching the birds and want to hear our lovely voices. You can do
That's
that.
right. That's right. And we will post. So for those audio folks, we will post pictures of pickups and stuff on the social medias, the Twitters and the Instagrams. So if you listen to it and you want to see what we picked up, you'll be able to see pictures of them there.
Yes.
That's true. All right. We'll catch you guys next week for episode 15.
That's awesome. See you guys.
Hey, see ya.
See ya. All right. Craig is gone. Thank you, Facebook. We're done recording.
Yeah.
Thank you, YouTube. Thanks, J-Dub.
Let's see. Let's get the Facebook off here. See ya.